Hello, beautiful, amazing individual human beings out there. Today, my inspiration and my topic will be using your body, your thought, your emotions, and your will in combination with your ego, your I, to be more harmonious, to be more in tune with each other than they are fighting each other. In many cases, we do have problems with that are many of our desires, or should we say habits, are not necessarily good for us, but they take over much of our will by repeating it and strengthening it many times over because it's comfortable. By mastering the will requires to go outside of what we normally would do and use maybe 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes a day, whatever strengthens you to choose an activity or an action or a will, a deed of will, if we should say, and train it and focus on it for however long you need. Of course, you can't force these things. You have only so and so much power to sit in the center of this, but over time you will strengthen the will to be able to sit and observe your thoughts and even guide your thoughts. And when you can have the rudiments of this, you can slowly start to use different techniques to balance out our nervousness, our different turbulence that is inside of us. Everyone have it. Of course, many have numbed themselves away from it. It is more of a dream, really, than anything else. I do not judge them. It is normal. It is for everyone have this, and everyone falls into it one way or another, like daydreaming, drifting, watching TV, forgetting oneself. But to sit in the present in daytime, with daytime consciousness, to be able to observe with our five senses, but including our five senses, we also have inner perception. With our inner perception, we can understand others. We can understand how we perceive the world, how we choose to explain this world, and how we have chosen to perceive it as a whole. And in relation to that, we actually subconsciously have a lifestyle. Taken as an example, if you see life as nothing more than material reality, the only reason to be here would be to gain food, to procreate, to have a safe place to stay, and there is no purpose, there is no drive, there is no will impulse in it. One could say they have already died inside. By inner contemplation and inner movement, observation of these movements, you allow yourself to become alive inside, and you start to see life more deeply and more lively. You start to see where there is life and where there is less life. For example, in the mineral world and in the plant world, there are much more life, or should we say there are life in the plant world, but in the mineral life everything is breaking down, just as an example. Life is actually so deep and complex that I am so happy that I have found spiritual study, esoteric science, esoteric studying in general. Because I have a purpose. Every day I wake up with a reason to do this. Every day I wake up with a reason to strengthen my soul and will, so that I, in later times, can manifest it physically as a result of my endeavors. What I will build in the future, what I am striving towards, is something that will manifest itself physically when I am ready for it, when things fall into place. You got to have faith, and you got to have that trust that everything you do is for the grand plan of things. When you trust that, you align with it. And when you align with it, everything that is supposed to come comes. Instead of fighting it, instead of ruminating, you take things as they come. You heal what you need to heal, you feel pain where you feel pain, and you enjoy where you enjoy. And you observe at the same time, absorbing, memorizing, so you can learn. By memory, you can look back on your memories and you can learn from many of your experiences, what you did right, what you might have done better, what you can do better next time, and so on. That is how we improve. If we forget ourselves and think we are perfect, that we have nothing to gain anymore, that we are just where we want to be, we are part of what keeps humanity stagnant. It is a force that is anchoring part of our evolution steadfast in comfort, and everyone is affected by it. But by willfully go outside of this norm to become something stronger, something more uplifting, something more loving with the heart, it is so important to be empathic, to stand in another person's shoes and don't, oh, I'm sorry, but actually feel what they feel. To have the bravery to do so. Because when you do it, you help them recover. You are sharing in on their pain so that they can recover faster and be an uplifting light for whoever might need it any time. Of course, we are not that uplifting every time, but we do have a standard to where we do not cause suffering, so we do not cause misery. We do have an elegance and a certain royalty. You got to uphold that good example. To be a good and steadfast anchor for light, for morally and ethically inclined actions. To work with the beings that are moral and ethical. They are extremely sublime. And they are so sublime that you really can't see them for their forms with your clairvoyance until you reach a certain stage. Even I can't see them quite yet. But I can feel them. And I can feel how they operate within our heart, within our emotional system. And especially when we try to understand others and the world. The world is a beautiful place. The world is the creation of the divine. And by giving it reverence, by being devoted to a cause, by being dedicated every day to practice, to I would dare say repeat too, but repeat certain actions that allows you to strengthen inner faculties for perception, inner faculties for learning, inner faculties for teaching, so that we can teach others. Free will is so important, and without it, we wouldn't be free. Free to do what is right, free to do what actually has some meaning to something. And everyone has to choose that for themselves, what infuses meaning to them. And nothing is wrong as long as you give it life. Life is reverence. It is so beautiful and sublime. And give thanks to life. Sometimes say thank you. Just that feeling of gratitude is something the divine lives in. And you can feel them in the gratitude. And they help us all the time. either subconsciously, superconsciously, or consciously, around us all the time in the present, in our emotions, in our thoughts, in our will. Who are we choosing to help us? Is it the dark forces or is it the good forces? Thanks everyone for listening to me. Thanks everyone for being seekers and beggars of spirit. Love you all, and may you all have success on the path to awakening and to spirit. Goodbye. Love you all.